Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Football Match Day 3 deadline stream. So I still haven't made my 2 transfers yet. I'm hearing Thuram isn't starting, so that could be one of the players I'm taking out. So that is why you're meant to wait until that Tuesday on the deadline, before the deadline, 30 minutes, 1 hour before, to get early team news and to know which players you want to take out. So let me know how you guys are doing. Send in your questions as always. Let me take a look at my team, how my team is looking. So Lewandowski is obviously injured. I'll need to take him out, and Thuram isn't starting. I'll need to take him out. So the problem is the players to bring in. Which players am I supposed to bring in? If I take out Thuram and I take out Lewandowski, I'll have 17 million. Now, the problem is, especially the players up front, I am really thinking of several players. I've thought about Openda from Leipzig. I've thought about Joao Felix, maybe Julian Alvarez. All of them have some really good fixtures. So I am pretty confused on who to bring in in that front line instead of Lewandowski. And also midfield wise, I'm waiting to see the team news for obviously Bayern Munich to see what I can do with that as well. I think that's a tough fixture for Bayern Munich. I don't think it's easy at all, to be honest. So let's see how it works out. Let me know. Are you playing your wildcard this week? Are you playing a limitless chip? What have you done with your team? I have thought about potentially playing my wildcard, but the problem is, even if I was to play a wildcard right now, I would still have Rome. I'd probably still have Bellingham, Odegaard, Kane, Haaland. So usually I like playing a wildcard when I don't like 9 or 10 players in the team, or 2 players are suspended and 2 players are injured, and then it makes sense to take out those players. But at the moment, there's some players I still have on the wildcard, and that is why I'm not going for it. So let me decide which. Lewandowski is definitely going out of my team, and Thuram is not starting for Inter Milan. So I have thought about a lot of players. We only have 2 transfers. I want to bring in Openda. I want to bring in Joao Felix. I'm even thinking about maybe risking Alexis Sanchez as a differential, maybe Çalhanoğlu because he takes the penalties for Inter Milan. it's tough. It's tough. How are you, Bilal? Hope you're doing well. FIFA bots, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well as well. Bilal says I have 3 injured players, but I like my current team. Should I just take a -4 wildcard or just keep one of them on the bench? Now, for me, you're literally asking the wrong person about the hits, Bilal. I hate taking hits. FPL, Champions League Fantasy. I've played FPL since 2015, and I think I've only ever taken like 3 hits in those 7 years, 8 years. 3 hits in total. Like I've gone like 5 6 without taking a hit, and that is when like I really needed to, because maybe there wasn't enough games that week. But I never usually take hits just to bring in players because they have a good fixture. I never do that. Now that applies to the same in the Champions League Fantasy. The Champions League Fantasy is only 6 match days, plus the knockout stages, obviously, where you get a new wildcard like after the group stage. I don't like taking hits because if you take a hit like in FPL, maybe that can help you like for the next 4 or 5 weeks if that player has a good fixture. But the problem with the Champions League Fantasy, if you take a hit right now and then you play a wildcard next game week, it doesn't really make sense, especially if that player doesn't deliver. I don't really like so to answer your question, I have 3 injured players. I like my current team. Should I just take a -4 wildcard or just keep one of them on the bench? I'd just keep one of them on the bench, one of the injured players on the bench, and go with how many players are those? Like 14 players. I think that is still good enough. So which are the other players that you do have, Billy? Like if you have Kane, and if you have Bellingham in your team, and you have a Man City player, two Man City players, and your team is looking good, maybe a Newcastle player, maybe a PSG. I mean, that is good enough. FIFA bot says, should I go for both Kane and Sané? I have thought about that as well, because when I take Lewandowski out, that gives me a lot of money. But the thing is, Galatasaray, a good team, but they have considered twice against Man United and twice against Copenhagen. So I feel like Kane and Sané are both going to deliver. So I don't think that is a bad shout. The only problem with that, the only reason I might not end up going with that, is because Leipzig have a good fixture as well. FIFA bots. Which other team? Man City have a good fixture as well. Barcelona have Shakhtar at home. So if you have both Kane and Sané, that means if you already have Bellingham as well in the team, if you already have Haaland, that means you can't get a Leipzig attacker, and then Leipzig are playing against Red Star Belgrade at home. So it becomes a bit of a problem. But if you feel like you really trust Bayern and you want to go for the Bayern players, Bayern Munich have they have Galatasaray away, and then they have Galatasaray at home in the next fixture, and then they'll have Copenhagen at home. If you want to go with them for like 2-3 weeks, I don't think that's bad at all. I'm playing limitless, and my team is Haaland or Alvarez. Is Vinny safe enough to go for? Vinicius is a differential so far this season, obviously, because he's been injured. So I actually don't mind Vinicius against Braga. But you're limitless. You're playing limitless only for 1 week. Even if you're playing your wildcard and you want Vinicius, I think it would be good for 2 weeks at least, this week and against Braga next week. So I think Vinicius is a good differential FIFA bots. I don't think many people have him because he's just coming from injury. Xavi Simons or Rodri, I'd go for Xavi Simons. I feel like that is a very good attacking game against Red Star Belgrade, and we could get a few points there if you go for him. How are you, Javob? Nice seeing you here. So as my team is looking right now, I currently have Kane, Haaland, and Lewandowski up front. Obviously, Lewandowski is injured, so I am taking him out. So Lewandowski is how much right now? The moment I take out, let me bring back through on first. So I had 0 million in the bank. If I take out Lewandowski, all of a sudden that gives me 10.5 million, and that money can be used. Like, I am spoiled for choice, but it's going to be a very hard decision. That Lewandowski spot, I want to bring in Joao Felix. I also want to bring in Openda from Leipzig. I'm also thinking Alvarez, but that means I have to take out another Man City player. Maybe a Celtic against Atletico Madrid, Morata and Griezmann. Morata's been on good form. And if I take out Thuram, I can also use that money from Lewandowski to bring in Sané, and maybe use that money to bring in a cheaper striker up front. Like, there's a lot. And when I take out both of them, I have 17 million in total. So it's going to be a difficult decision. Let me just test this. Let me go to Barcelona. Joao Felix. Joao Felix is 8.1. So if I bring in Joao Felix, I'll have 8.9 million remaining for midfield. Let me check Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. And again, by the way, I can't go for a Leipzig player myself because I already have 3 of their defenders, and I'm not in a position to take them out because I have other problems to sort out. If I was playing my wildcard or limitless, I wouldn't have 3 defenders from Leipzig, 2 defenders and their goalkeeper. So midfield wise for Bayern Munich, I can't afford Sane. I'll be 0.2 million away from getting Sane. I can't afford Musiala though, so let me take a look at Bayern Munich's team news and see what which players are starting for Bayern Munich. But it's going to be hard to make a decision on which players to choose here. I think Man United, if you want a differential Man United, I think this could be a good week as well. Odegaard or Saka, I'd go for Saka for this week. Let me know your top 3 forwards for this week. Erling Haaland is always there because he's playing young boys. I mean, I know he didn't score in the last game, but Haaland can score a hat-trick anytime. So I'm going to go for Erling Haaland. I'm gonna say Joao Felix against Shakhtar at home, and I'm going to say Openda from Leipzig. Those are just the 3 top forwards for me. But literally, if you are to ask me 10 top 10 forwards for this, you can still give you because there's so many this week. I still feel like Morata is a good differential. Alvarez, Mansti is a good differential as well for this week. Harry Kane, he always takes the penalties. He always scores every single game. So all those players are very good. I'm thinking of using a limitless or a wildcard. I have Di Maria, Casemiro, Fabio, Ivan Sech, and who I all would all like to transfer, but the rest of the team is good. What do you think? Have you already made any transfers? If you haven't made any transfers, Java, but you still have those 2 transfers, obviously you can take out Casemiro and maybe one of the players. Di Maria is going to play, right? I've not heard about Di Maria the past 1 week. If he's injured, I have no idea, but I think he's fit. I've not kept tabs on Benfica this past weekend. But if those players are not injured, if at least 2 of them are available to play, I'd just make the 2 transfers and keep them, especially if the rest of your team is good, Javob. Unless your team doesn't have Bellingham and you don't have Haaland and you don't have maybe a Barcelona player and all that, and you feel like, man, I have to get one of those players in, then you can play a wildcard. Bayern starting 11 is out here. I'm taking a look at it right now. And also Inter Milan, as you can see, if I take out Thuram, who's not playing today, I don't have an Inter Milan player. And I feel like I need to get an Inter Milan player. So that's another position I need to sort out. So I wish I had like 3 or 4 transfers. Dapo says, is Bruno a good pick for this game week? I really don't trust Man United, Dapo, but surely they're playing against Copenhagen. Personally, I've not had any Man United players in my FPL, and I've seen a lot of people crying about Rashford not scoring, not assisting. I know Bruno, I think, assisted against Sheffield. I don't think you can really trust Man United, but I don't think there's a problem with going with one, especially if you're playing a limitless. I don't think there's a problem with going with one Man United player like a Bruno or a Rashford. For if it's a 1 week thing, I think they could deliver. But after that, they have Copenhagen away, they have Galatasaray away. I'm not sure they will deliver a lot. But Bruno, if it's just 1 week punt and you want a differential, I don't think is a bad option. Even Højlund up front, I think he could be a decent option for this match day. I think he scored in both Champions League games so far. Lewandowski replacement, a lot, Daxter. You can go for Joao Felix directly from Barcelona. You can go for Lautaro Martinez, Inter Milan. Alexis Sanchez is starting today for Inter Milan. It could be a differential. Julian Alvarez, Man City. There's a lot of good strikers this week. Galatasaray playing good, so is Kane safe or should I go for Felix? Galatasaray playing good, they will score. They could even score 2 goals. I predicted Bayern Munich 3, Galatasaray 2. So in terms of that, Galatasaray will score. But they conceded twice against Copenhagen at home and they conceded twice against Man United. And Man United could have scored 3 or 4 like if they took their chances. So I am worried about having Alphonso Davies in my team, but I can't really do anything about that because I have 2-3 players who are out of the team that I have to deal with first. But I think Barcelona will definitely score as well. Unless now the likes of Lewandowski are injured and they have a couple of other injuries, maybe that could affect them. Barcelona, should I go for Felix? So is Kane safe? Kane is definitely safe. He'll probably score against Galatasaray. But Felix is also a good option. So I might end up having both in my team, FIFA both. So I think that is decision you can make. You're playing, did you say you're playing your any chip? Yes, you're playing your limitless. So for 1 week, who are your other I'd really consider going for both. Since you're playing a limitless, if you feel like you don't really need Kane and you want other strikers, then at least go for someone like a Son in midfield. Di Maria is listed as doubtful on the UCL gaming site, so I'm not sure. Let me just check that for you. I've not considered any Benfica players this season. That is why I have no clue where Di Maria is. Last season is so different from last season. Last season I was going for Joao Mario, I was going for Rafa Silva, I was going for Gonzalo Ramos. There was a lot of good players from Benfica. Let's see, Di Maria. Which team are they playing? Real Sociedad. Just answering your question right now, Jacob. Lorenzo, Trippier, Diaz, choose two. I'd go for. I think Union Berlin are going to score against Napoli, but Di Lorenzo is almost an attacking option as well. Like he goes forward a lot. Diaz didn't start for Man City the other day, if I'm not wrong. So I'm going to go for Diaz and Di Lorenzo. Trippier is very good in terms of picking up assists and all that, but I think Dortmund are going to score this time, so I don't think there will be a clean sheet. So I'm gonna go for Di Lorenzo and Diaz, but Trippier is such a good option as well. But Di Lorenzo and Diaz, because Diaz got rested for Man City the other day, and Di Lorenzo. I mean, you know what? I think Di Lorenzo and Trippier, this is like 51%, 49%. You know what? FIFA bots are probably going to edge towards Trippier because it takes the corners and the free kicks as well. Di Maria. Everything's written in Portuguese, man. Let's see. We need to learn Portuguese. Benfica. I mean, I've seen a couple of posts from Benfica pages on Twitter. Jacob saying Angel Di Maria, yes, has a muscle injury, but is available to face Real Sociedad. So, do you want to take the risk? You don't have to take him out. I know what you said about playing a wildcard. I would be happy to keep Di Maria and take the risk. What midfielder and attacker do you recommend for 15 million to get? They already have Bellingham. Maybe Julian Alvarez and Xavi Simons. I think that will even be enough. You'll actually have spare cash. So 15 million. Julian Alvarez, obviously, for Man City. And also Joao Felix as well up front, and then midfield wise, Leipzig, Xavi Simons against Red Star Belgrade. Xavi Simons is 6.5 million, so yeah, that could actually even leave you with spare cash. This is gonna be a hard decision. Let me check into Milan. I really want Dumfries in my team. I really want. Man, if I go for Chananoglu, I'll have 10 million remaining. Defensively, since Thuram is not playing and Lewandowski is out, I have to deal with those players. But I'm really worried about not having Dumfries at the back and not having Cancelo. I am very worried, but I can't do anything right now unless I play my wildcard. Best 6 million or less midfielder, says Leah. There's a couple of them who've picked up injuries. There's not too many. The prices have gone up. Let me just check this Real Sociedad player so that I don't give you wrong information. Real Sociedad. Prices have changed. Prices usually change. Real Sociedad, is it gone up? So Bimendi is still 5 million. He's very good in terms of ball recoveries. But I actually don't like that in terms of Benfica away. I don't like that. Let me go to Feyenoord. Feyenoord have a home fixture, so I might answer that question by telling you one of the Feyenoord players. Personally, I have Quinton Timber, but I wouldn't recommend you to go for that. If I was playing my wildcard, I wouldn't have him. Ivanovic is a doubt, I think, or something. There's not too many. Like if you're to ask me like 6.5, then we'd be talking. But around less than 6 million, I don't think there's too many. There's not too many, man. There's not too many good midfielders at that price unless you go to Feyenoord and pick the likes of Ivanovic, and I'm not sure about him this week. Atletico Madrid, they have a 6.5 million midfielder. I mean, Marcos Llorente, no, they don't like that one. I mean, maybe Quinton Timber and maybe Barcelona midfielders are too expensive. There's not too many, man. There's not too many around that price, to be honest. Not too many. How much is even Xavi Simons is 6.5. I mean, if we are guaranteed to see like a couple of Man City players playing, I would probably go for one of them, like a Calvin Phillips, but he's not going to play. So I think that is a very risky price around that. How much is Anthony Gordon right now? Let me check Anthony Gordon. I think that is a good pick. But has he gone up in price? Gordon is 5.5 million. So I'd actually be tempted to say Gordon, because Newcastle have been on really, really good form, and they're playing Dortmund at home, and I feel like that is going to be a 3-2. So since Gordon is going to play on the left wing and is not really going to be a defensive midfielder like those players around that price, I'm going to go for Anthony Gordon. I'm not sure about this one, lad. I'm not sure about Gluck. FIFA bot says it took Saka, Sane, Bellingham, Mendes. Suggest me the last midfielder. You already have an Arsenal midfielder. Bellingham obviously has to be in your team. Sane. Maybe Inter Milan midfielder. FIFA bots, I'd be tempted to go either for Chananoglu or Mkhitaryan. Let me just check the team news. Bayern Munich, Ulreich in goal, Kim Min-jae, De Ligt, Davis, and Mazraoui behind. Musiala, Lima, Sane, Kimmich, Kane, and Coman. Coman is starting. Okay. Let me just check this Bayern Munich team. Let me check the prices of Lima and Coman. So Bayern Munich have Musiala is starting at 8.5 million. Kimmich is starting at 6.5 million. Obviously, he always starts. Lima is a midfield at 5.5 million and is starting. So if you're ready to take like a risk for 1 week and you're going to play a limitless next time, a wild card, there's players like Lima for Bayern Munich who is starting in midfield, and also Kimmich 6.5 million. Johnny says Kvaratskhelia now. I like that pick a lot. If I was playing my limitless today, I'd probably have Kvaratskhelia. I'd be tempted to go for him. Union Berlin, I watched their game against Stuttgart the other day. They lost 3-0. I think Union Berlin have lost like 5 games in a row. So that could be good. That could be a good pick for this week, Johnny. Will Rodri play? Yes, I think he'll play. Will Doku play 60 minutes plus? I'm worried about that one. I have him in my team. Again, if I was playing a wildcard right now, I'd not have him. He played the other day on the weekend against Brighton. Grealish is back now, so Grealish could be brought back on that left wing. It's very tough, FIFA bots. He came on against Leipzig in the last Champions League game and still scored. If you're to ask me 60 plus, I'd say no. I don't think he's going to play 60 plus. Who should I replace Thuram? I have 7.3 million, says Exotic Lord. Kimmich, Bayern Munich is a good option. How much is Coman? Coman is not that price, right? Coman is more expensive than that. Coman is 8 million. Musiala is 8.5. I'd give you a couple of options, Exotic Lord. If you want a direct midfielder from Inter Milan, I'd say Chananoglu, because he takes the penalties, is 7 million. You're going to have 0.3 million in the bank. Also Kimmich, 6.5 million. You can have 0.8 million in the bank. Probably those two. If you had like 8 million, I'd say the likes of Gundogan at Barcelona, but Chananoglu, Mkhitaryan from Inter Milan could be good options. I have wildcard activated. So if you have your wildcard, you can do anything you want. Depends. If you already have someone like a Kane up front, then I'd go for an Inter Milan midfielder. But if you already have other Inter Milan players, then I'd go for someone like a Kimmich. Just make sure at least you have a Bayern Munich player and an Inter Milan player. But I'd be tempted to go with those Inter Milan players, one of them, Mkhitaryan or Chananoglu in midfield. Coman scored 3 goals in the last 2 matches. He's a lot of money, but since you're playing your limitless, I think Coman for this one match day could be a good punt. He's selected by 1%. So that is a massive differential, FIFA bots. If you go for him and he scores, then you're in proper business, because not many people have him at all at the moment. 1% of the managers have him. I'm getting really tempted, but I don't want to go into the Barcelona game without a Barcelona attacker. And I don't feel safe about not having Joao Felix. If Barcelona wasn't playing this week, I'd go for a Bayern Munich player and an Inter Milan player for my subs. But the problem is I feel like that Barcelona team, I already don't have Cancelo, and I feel like if I don't have Joao Felix as well, I mean, they did struggle a bit the other day. They had to depend on a 17-year-old to come on and score, 1-0 victory. Joao Felix. I already have Kane. Should I just leave it? Common. Let me see. If I go for common, how much money would I have remaining? Common. I'd have 9 million remaining. So I can actually afford Coman and Felix. But that means no Inter Milan player, which I don't want to do. It's going to be tough. Foden or Bernardo play, says Johnny. You're trying to test Guardiola, man. That is tough. I'm going to choose Foden. As he says, and does Saka play? Yeah, Saka will definitely play in this one. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm very scared for that fixture. And I think if we go without Saka, we're in a bit of a problem. Sevilla just drew with Real Madrid the other day. They've changed their manager soon. They've been doing poorly, but I don't think that's an easy fixture. That is why I'm an Arsenal fan, and I only have one Arsenal player for a reason. And if I was choosing the team today, I wouldn't even have Odegaard. I'd probably go for Bayern Munich midfielder, Inter Milan midfielder, Barcelona striker, that. But Saka, he takes the penalties, and he scored in the first match day. Second match day, he got subbed off. I think he definitely starts in this one because he didn't play for like 3 weeks. Kane, Coman, Sane would be risky, I guess. Kane, yeah, I think that's a bit too much. I mean, I've predicted Bayern Munich to score 3 goals, but you also have to respect Galatasaray away from home. If they were playing at Bayern Munich's place, then I'd consider it. Like last time, I did not want to play my Limitless last time. I was kind of forced to play it because I wanted, I felt like Arsenal had a good game against Lens. I felt like Bayern Munich had a good game against Copenhagen. But the problem is away games, you can never underestimate away games. And you saw Bayern Munich kind of, did they play at home or away? I mean, Arsenal kind of struggled against Lens and they lost. So I'd go for 2 maybe FIFA bots. I think 3 is a bit too much. Is Christensen and Balde starting? They're playing tomorrow. I would assume both of them will start. Alongside Cancelo and another defender. I think the likes of Kunde are all injured. Julian Alvarez or Felix. Again, depends, John. If you already have Haaland and another Man City player, then I'd go for Felix. But if you already have another Barcelona player, then Alvarez. But depends. If you already have Haaland, I'd go for Felix. Brais, Mendes, or Stengs, I'd go for Stengs. I think Stengs has gone up in price, if I'm not wrong. Stengs, Feyenoord. Yeah, it's gone up by only 0.1 million. So I'd go for Stengs because he has a home fixture against Lazio. Lautaro Martinez or Julian Alvarez, that one I'd pick Alvarez. I'm never the biggest fan of Lautaro Martinez. How much is Alexis Sanchez? Alexis Sanchez is starting for Inter Milan today. So that could be a good differential. If it depends. If you're playing, let's say, limitless cheap right now, you can go for like the usual players, like 5 or 6, 7 of them: Bellingham, Haaland, Cancelo, those players. And then maybe 2 positions, you can go for a differential, like players people don't have, like Coman, Bayern Munich, 1% on is starting today. You can go for Chananoglu, you can go for Alexis Sanchez. Let me see how much Alexis Sanchez is. Alexis Sanchez, is he a forward or a striker in the game? He's a forward. 7.5 million. I don't know how long he'll play, though. Like, he could easily be subbed off at halftime. Dumfries plus Sommer safe. Salzburg could score. Dumfries definitely get him in your team, especially on a limitless. You have to have Dumfries. Yeah, the thing is, double up. I don't mind double ups, especially if the team is playing on Tuesday. I have no problem with that because if they don't do good, you can just take him out tomorrow if you have the players on the bench tomorrow, which you should. So, yes, I think it's safe because they're playing on the Tuesday. I think that's okay. Johnny says, Ake, I have him in my team. He didn't start against Brighton the other day. Akanji got a red card, so he won't play in the next Premier League game against Man United. So that could mean he starts in this game. But I'm willing to take the risk having Ake in the team. I think he could end up starting, but it's very tough to predict because of many reasons. Like, as I said, Akanji was red carded in the Premier League, so that Guardiola could choose to play Akanji in the Champions League and then play Ake in the Premier League. Stones is back. Diaz did not play in the Premier League, so he could be back for this one as well. But at that price, Johnny, I'd be willing to risk it. But you only go for that one if you already have Ake in your team, like I do. Then keep him because I can't do anything. I have to take out Lewandowski and Thuram, so I have to keep Ake in my team. But if you're playing like a wildcard right now, then I think you can get other options who are probably going to have a better chance of starting. So it depends on how your team is looking. But if you're looking for 2 transfers to make, I probably wouldn't go for Ake. But says Ter Stegen or Ederson. I'd say Ter Stegen. Ederson was benched the other day. I don't like that. I'd not be surprised if Ederson is benched again and Ortega starts. So I'd go for Ter Stegen. Teza, how are you, man? Nice seeing you as always. I'm going good. I'm trying to figure out which player to bring into my team and which player to take out. You see how my team is looking. This is my team from match day 1, and it is also my team in match day 3. So this is the team I had in match day 1. Match day 2, I played my limitless. So obviously in match day 3, I've gotten my team back. Ramiro in goal, Blaswich, Davis, Hendricks, Christensen, Rom, and Ake. As you can see, defensively, I have the Leipzig goalkeeper and I have 2 Leipzig defenders. Now, if they keep a clean sheet, then that is a master stroke because I'll get 3 clean sheets there. But I'd not be surprised if Red Star score. If I had a chip today, I'd not have 3 defenders from Leipzig. But the thing I like about Rom and Hendricks, they can get you assists and goals. Christensen would not be my pick for Barcelona defender. It's just because I can't afford Cancelo. Cancelo would be my pick. Ake again, just a cheap way to Man City's defense. And then Alphonso Davies again. If I was playing my limitless like some of you are, I wouldn't have Alphonso Davies because I feel Galatasaray are going to score 1 or 2 goals. So I'd go for other defenders like from Inter Milan, like Dumfries. Midfield-wise, I have Bellingham. I've not even taken a look at my captain. I have Bellingham as my captain right now. I'm not sure I'm going to definitely captain him. I'll decide that soon. Odegaard is in my team, but then again, if I was playing my wildcard today, I'd not have Odegaard. Although Arsenal fixtures turn in match day 4, they have Sevilla at home and then Lens at home, so maybe Saka is a better option. Doku, I have him, but I'm not sure if he's going to start, but I can't do anything with that one because he's already in my team. Quentin Timber, and I have other players to take out. Quentin Timber, again, I also don't like. Up front, Haaland and Kane, I don't mind. I feel like they're going to score this week. So I have to bring in 2 players that I trust for this week. Why does Inzaghi bench Thuram in Champions League matches? Says Rehan. I hate it, man. I had him in match day 1, he was benched, and then match day 2, I didn't have him in my limitless, and then he played, and I think he scored or assisted or something like that. So terrible. I have to deal with Lewandowski, ZH2, only 2 transfers. This is a tough one. So what I'd do in your situation, Rehan, definitely take out Lewandowski and ZH because those ones are out with injury. Thuram is not out with injury. If you have 3 good players on the bench for Wednesday who can come on tomorrow, I'd keep Thuram in the starting lineup because remember, he can still come on and score. He can come on and score. And then if he doesn't come on or he comes on and only gets you 1 point, then obviously you can take him out tomorrow because in your situation, you have Lewandowski and ZH to deal with Ryan. So that is what I'd do. I'd keep Thuram in the team. I'll just leave him in the starting lineup. If he comes on and scores, well done. If he comes on and assists, well done. The headache has disappeared. But if he comes on and only gets you 1 point or something, then you can take him out and bring in the players you have on the bench for Wednesday. Johnny says, Blaswich, I have him in my team. I have him in my Champions League fantasy team, and I have him in my Bundesliga fantasy team as well. I also have Rom in my Champions League, in my Bundesliga fantasy as well. I like Leipzig. I think they could keep a clean sheet. You might not get too many save points against Red Star Belgrade, so you're really depending on a clean sheet there. Trippier, I like him. If you're playing a limitless, I don't think it's a bad idea to have Trippier for 1 week against Dortmund at home. Afnan says Zivert. no one called that. Is there anyone called that? I've never heard of that. That's why I didn't read that out. Let me just see. Yeah, there's no one called that. You see, there's no one called that. Is there? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. Don't test my ball knowledge, bro. Who is this? Galeno, Foden, Rodri, Gundogan, and should I change Sane to Coman? No, don't change Sane to Coman. Definitely have Sane. You're playing a limitless. You can have both, but I don't think I'd choose Coman over Sane. Sane is very explosive, if you know what I mean. Like, he's even back in his Man City days, like he can get you 2 assists and 2 goals today. Like, he's very explosive. Galeno, I'm fine with that. Foden. I mean, since you're playing a limitless, I think there's too many risks. Are you playing a limitless, right? You said you're playing a limitless FIFA bots, correct? Let me confirm. Oh, your comment has disappeared. Hopefully get it. Yeah, I think you're playing a limitless. If you're playing a limitless, I wouldn't have all those players. Gundogan is a good shout, but you see there's a lot of differentials there, especially if you're playing a limitless. So definitely go for Sane. Definitely have Sane in your team. I'd be very tempted to not have Rodri and have an Inter Milan midfielder instead. Or you choose like either Foden or Rodri and then take one of them out and have an Inter Milan midfielder, and then I'd go for Sane over Coman. Afnan says Harry Maguire. I never thought there was anyone who was going to ask me about Harry Maguire in a Champions League fantasy stream. But you know what? Don't underrate the guy. I saw a crazy stat the other day that Man United have not like lost a game with Harry Maguire in like 16 games or something. So Harry Maguire, one of the best defenders in the world. I mean, there's no guarantee he could start. I saw Varane was back the other day, so they could go with Varane and someone else. But Lisandro Martinez is out. I mean, as a differential, Afnan, if you don't have any other differentials in your team, that could be okay for one match day. But then trusting Man United's defense, and then on top of that, also trusting Harry Maguire, man, that would give me headaches. So I think there's so many other good defenders. Barcelona, Cancelo, you can go for Dumfries, Inter Milan, you can go for Rome, Leipzig. But if you want a differential, why not Afnan? I don't even think anyone has Harry Maguire in this game. Let me just see how many people have him. Harry Maguire, defender. Harry Maguire is currently selected by 0%. No one in this game has Harry Maguire apart from you, Afnan, if you go for him. So if he scores, well done, man. So I would not go for him, though. But if you want a differential and you're feeling brave, then go for it. Happy birthday, Afnan. Sane or Musiala? Sane or Musiala? Afnan wants to go for Harry Maguire on his birthday. You want to go for Harry Maguire on your birthday? Wow, okay, that's interesting. I've never seen anyone wishing for Harry Maguire being in their team on their birthday. Sane or Musiala, I'd go for Sane. If you're playing a limitless Sane, if you want to save money, maybe Musiala. Should I go for Christensen to Akanji and change from Stengs to Mendes? I don't like that. Man City's defense, I like it if we were sure was going to start, but I don't like the fact that anyone could start. I have a feeling Akanji could start because he's not going to play in the Premier League because he has a red card. But I'd probably go for Diaz unless you don't have the money. I'd go for Diaz because he didn't play in the weekend. Then he could start this one. Fran. You mean Fran Garcia? Nah, I wouldn't go for him. Thinking of going Lewandowski to Openda or Taremi as a differential. I'd go for Openda. Wildcard activated. Soma Terstegen. Dan Burn, interesting. Humberto, very interesting. Dan Burn. Is it Humberto or Humberto? Diaz, Kim, Stengs, Xavi Simons, Bellingham. Thuram is not playing. He's on the bench, so I wouldn't have Thuram in the team. Galeno, Kane, Haaland, Alvarez. 2.2 million in the bank. Yeah, of course. Definitely have preferred moves, man. I wish I was in your position. I'd take out Thuram. You have 2.2 million in the bank. I mean, if you are Inter Milan midfielder, maybe Mkhitaryan or Chananoglu for Thuram. By the way, there's no problem with you keeping, especially if you've already played your limitless. There's no problem with you having like spare money in the bank. That can really help in match day 4 and 5 and 6. Like people usually say, nah, I have to spend all the money and have 0 million in the bank. No, that money can actually help you. So I'd take out Thuram and bring in an Inter Milan midfielder, Mkhitaryan or Çalhanoğlu. Or if you want to spend the whole thing, you can go for Coman as a differential in midfield from Bayern Munich, Umberto. Kim Min-jae starting. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. I think Galatasaray will start. So if I was playing a limitless, I'd not have a Bayern Munich defender. I only have one because I can't do anything, and I have to take out Lewandowski and Thuram. Should I change from Saka to Sane and Thuram to Foden? Sane is a good shout. Thuram to Foden. That sounds good, especially if Foden starts. I think that should be. I think it's definitely going to score. If it starts against Young Boys, it's definitely going to score. That sounds good. Zeolotic show. I confirmed Joao Felix in already. I have one more transfer to use and 2.7 million in the bank. Nick Footy, can you help me with some money? Wow, 2.7 million in the bank is a lot. Who are you looking to take out, Nick? Who are you looking to take out? Any other players you're looking to take out? Openda is the best in Leipzig. For forward player, yes. If you want a midfielder, Xavi Simons. For me, I have 3 of their defenders. I like Rom. So if Rom as a defender, Xavi Simons as a midfielder, Openda as a forward, I do like those options. Barcelona, Shakhtar. Could Shakhtar surprise Barcelona? You know what? I'm going to make my first change right now. I think I've decided on Barcelona. Please, Joao Felix, don't disappoint me. Please, I am begging you, do not disappoint me. Because if I go for Joao Felix and he doesn't score, I'll be very disappointed because there's so many strikers I want to go for. Like Openda, I want to go for Eden Alvarez, I want to go for Griezmann, Morata. There's so many strikers I can go for. So hopefully I don't pick the wrong one. Gundogan or Stengs. If you have the money to Gundogan, I'd go for Gundogan. I like that Barcelona fixture. Jack says, wait, if we use our wildcard this week and limitless next week, we will then have our wildcard team again, and how many transfers will we have? So yes, if you play your wildcard in match day 3 and you play a limitless in match day 4, you're going to get back your wildcard team from match day 3 in match day 5. Your team is going to come back in match day 5, and you will only have 2 transfers. Yes, their transfers not go up. If you play a limitless in your wildcard, your transfers are not saved, so your transfers disappeared when you play a wildcard and you're limitless. So in match day 5, you will only have 2 transfers. Ryan says, so many forwards with good fixtures. What a headache to have before the deadline. Man, tell me about it, Ryan. Like, I'm here trying to figure out who to go for. There's so many forwards, so many. Like, even Alexis Sanchez as a differential. Vinicius is a good one as well. Leao, Icardi, no. Jesus, no. Luke De Jong, you know, there's a few players that we never talk about, but I feel like Luke De Jong is definitely going to score this week against Lens, but just don't consider him because there's so many other big strikers. Rafa Silva against Sociedad. Rafa Silva has a good home record. That is another differential. Gabriel Martinelli is a forward. I don't like that. I don't like people who play midfielders and then they're put as forwards in the game, because if they score, they only get 4 points. Valverde or Çalhanoğlu says, I'm gonna go for Çalhanoğlu because he takes the penalties, and he has a home fixture as well. Afraid about Kane? Nah, I'm never afraid about Kane at all. Like he takes the penalties. Again, he's another explosive player as well. I've predicted Galatasaray 2, Kane 3. I mean, we are not going to wait for too long to get that answer, FIFA bots. The game is being played fast, so if it ends 0-0 and it doesn't score, make sure to jump in the comments and tell me I don't know anything about football. I'd go for Kane, unless you have other options up front. Listen, your situation is different, FIFA bots. Your situation is different because you're playing your limitless cheap. you can go for Sane and Coman and don't not go for Kane, and you already have two midfielders from Bayern Munich. That is okay. The problem with my team is if I take out Kane, I don't have any Bayern Munich attacker, and Bayern Munich is a team that can score 3 or 4 goals any day. So your situation is different. If you want other strikers and you can go for Kane, for Sane, sorry, or Musiala or Coman in midfield, is good enough. So you don't really have to go for Kane in your situation because you're playing your limitless. You can go for their midfielders instead and then go for other strikers. Haaland or Vini, I'd go for the guy you're named after, for sure. Haaland, it's never Haaland or anyone else. I think I never put Haaland in a poll like Haaland or who else. No, Haaland is always guaranteed to be in the team. Haaland and Bellingham are always going to be in my team until the day they're going to go out. Giroud against PSG, I don't like that one. Morata against Celtic. Celtic, they never do well in the Champions League. So Morata could easily score, easily, especially at 7.5 million. Ben White says, Johnny, I think Ben White will start. He was rested in the last Champions League game, but I feel like Sevilla is a tough fixture. I feel like Sevilla is going to score. But if you want an Arsenal defender, I think Ben White could be the best one because he can go for it sometimes on that right side. Hendricks, Rom, or Semekan would go for Rom because he takes the corners and the free kicks as well. Haaland or Alvarez, Haaland, Dali. Best City defender, I'd go for Diaz because he was rested in the last game. I think it's time to make my transfers. So in one position up front, I am thinking about 5 players. Joao Felix. I'm thinking Morata against Celtic. This is going to be tough. I'm even thinking Rafa Silva, even though Benfica have not done well, they could do well in this match day. I have also thought about Griezmann. Bayern Munich. Is Kane enough for this week? So my first sub, I'm going to go for Joao Felix. I've decided I'm going to go for Joao Felix. Please don't let me down. I am begging you, please don't let me down. Joao Felix is in my team. So now I have one more transfer. Thuram out with 8.9 million in the bank. Like, that is a lot of money in terms of midfielders. Like, who can I go for? I don't like the idea of going without an Inter Milan midfield player. I don't have an Inter Milan player, and that is really bothering me. Especially Dumfries. I just can't afford Dumfries, but I am really hurting. If you have Dumfries right now, I'm jealous of you because I'm really hurt. I feel like Dumfries is going to score today. I don't know why. I just have this feeling Dumfries will do something today. Make sure to hit the like button, by the way, if I've answered any of your question. It helps the channel out. Højlund, says Rehan. I have thought about him, but I just don't trust Man United, honestly. Like, that game could end 2-1 to Man United and McTominay scores both goals again, and then Højlund has disappointed you, Bruno's disappointed you. But Højlund has scored against Bayern Munich and he has scored against Galatasaray, so he has some credit in the bank. So if you want a differential, I think Højlund is the one I'd go for ahead of Rashford and Bruno. Man City defender or Napoli defender? I'd go for Man City defender. I think Napoli will concede to Union Berlin, but I think Di Lorenzo is still a good option. But I'll go for Man City defender, Amigo. Igor, nice seeing you. Hey, Glenn, good luck today. I appreciate it. Good luck to you too. Do you think Saka will 100% play? Yes, he will 100% play. The ones that I'm not 100% sure are Jesus and Martinelli. Trossard could end up starting instead of Martinelli, and up front, he could go for Havertz instead of Jesus for this match day. I think Saka is definitely going to play. It's a crucial game. Arsenal lost the second game, so I don't think they can afford to lose the third one as well. Griezmann doing better than Morata, I think, and he's also taking penalties. Last time I went for Griezmann instead of Morata, and Morata is the one who scored, so that pained me. I think both of them are good. Morata is on very good form. He's also been scoring for Spain. Nick says my team is Blastwich Summer, Antonio Silva. I am so jealous that you have Cancelo. So jealous. Bellingham, Vanusech, Thuram. Thuram is on the bench, so I'd take him out. Thuram, definitely take out Thuram. Bernardo Silva, Kane, Felix, Haaland. I'd take out Thuram if you have money. As I think you said you have 2.2 million. I'd take out Thuram and bring in Mkhitaryan or Çalhanoğlu in that midfield. That's the one that stands out. If you're playing a wildcard or limitless, if you're playing a limitless, this is not a limitless because I can see you have Ivanovic and cheaper players like Ake. So this is either your team or wildcard. So yeah, I'd take out Thuram for an Inter Milan midfielder, Çalhanoğlu or Mkhitaryan. Diaz, Johnny. Jerome really wants his question answered. Can send it once, Jerome. I'll read it. Don't worry. Sommer, Blaswich, Silva, Di Lorenzo, Bastoni. Bastoni is starting. I've not even taken. Let me check Inter Milan's team. Inter Milan. Oh yeah, starting. Pavard, De Vrij, Bastoni, Dumfries are starting. This is a tough one. So take out Thuram. Thuram is not playing, so take him out. You can go for Mkhitaryan or Çalhanoğlu. Suggest change with 2 free transfers. Goalkeepers, it's fine. You can keep the goalkeepers. I don't like Garcia. I don't like the Fran Garcia pick. But it's very cheap and there's not too many, unless, especially if you take out. Do you have any money in the bank, J1? Let me know. Do you have any money in the bank? And then I'll come to your question. Captain, I'm going to come. Remind me of that. I'm coming to that in the next 5 minutes. What about Antonio Silva to Dumfries? Definitely yes. Yes, that one I'd definitely do that. Musiala, Gundogan, Musiala. I'm okay with 3 transfers. Nah, I wouldn't take hits, J-Rob. Just a heads up to anyone considering Ivanovic is available tomorrow, but he'll almost certainly start on the bench as he has just come back from injury, says Igor. So that's some advice from Igor. So here's the thing with Thuram. If you're playing your wildcard, I wouldn't have Thuram. If you're playing a limitless, I wouldn't have Thuram. If you don't have Thuram and you're making 2 transfers, I wouldn't bring in Thuram because he's on the bench. But if you have other players who are injured or other players who are suspended, players like Lewandowski who are definitely out, I'd be happy to keep Thuram in the team because he might come on and still score. He might do that. And then if he doesn't, you can just take him out tomorrow. No money in the bank. I'm thinking of Cancelo, Alvarez, and an 8 million plus midfielder. I don't like 3 transfers, Jerome. I wouldn't go that direction of a hit unless your team is really suffering with the injuries and suspensions. No money in the bank. I'm thinking of Cancelo, Alvarez, and 8 million midfielder. You can afford that. So definitely take out Thuram. No money in the bank. Man, this is going to be so hard. No, I wouldn't bring in Alvarez with the -4. I wouldn't do that. I mean, wait, you have Lewandowski. So if you want Lewandowski out for Alvarez, that is totally fine. That is okay, Jerome. If you want Lewandowski out, Alvarez in, that is fine. That saves you a lot of money as well. And then I'd take out Thuram and then bring in the 8 million midfielder you want to go for. That's what I would do. I wouldn't really go for -4 to bring in Cancelo. You have Silva, Di Lorenzo, Bastoni. I mean, Garcia. I've just told you don't like Garcia, so just wait. So you see in your situation, I don't like Garcia and Lewandowski's out. I'd be willing to keep Thuram in the team and hopefully comes on and does something. So in your team, Jerome, this is my final answer to your question. I'd be happy to keep Thuram in the starting lineup because you're not playing any cheap. So you can keep Thuram and then hopefully comes on. If he doesn't, you can just take him out for the players coming tomorrow. I would take out Lewandowski and then you want to bring in Alvarez, that is fine. That saves you money. And then you can take out Garcia. Can you afford Cancelo? If you take out Garcia for Cancelo, then that is what I would do. Johnny says Kvaratskhelia, Saka, or Coman. Man, that is such a tough question. I feel like Napoli will do well against Union Berlin. I think Union Berlin have lost like 6 games in a row. They're not doing well at all. So Kvaratskhelia is a very massive differential. You know what? I'd go Kvaratskhelia, Saka, then Coman in that order that you have arranged there. Antonio Silva to Dumfries or Thuram to Mkhitaryan. Nick Footy, let me ask you one question I've forgotten. Are you playing a wildcard or are you just making transfers? Let me know and then I'll answer that. Rodri, Doku, or Foden? I'd go for Foden, Johnny. Andres says, "Hi, Glenn. What do you think about Rodri?" Rodri is a good option. I mean, he's a defensive midfielder who like scores every single week for them. So that is an okay option. Although I wouldn't go for Rodri if I already have Haaland and Foden and all that. There's a player like Kimmich at Bayern Munich who's very good. Same price. Okay, so then I have 9.9 million left if I want to bring in a midfield, then 7.9 million left. If I remove Garcia instead, who do I bring in then? So then I have 9.9 million left. So 9.9 million. So you take out Lewandowski, you bring in Alvarez. How much is Alvarez right now? Alvarez is 7.1 million. So you'll have around 2.8 million remaining. I'd take out Lewandowski for Alvarez, Garcia for Cancelo. That is what I'd do, Jero. Amigo says Kimmich and Sako, Zielinski and Sane. I'd go for... Oh, this is a tough one because I feel like Sane and Zielinski can do something this week. I'd go for... I really don't like that Sevilla fixture for Arsenal, as I've already said. I'd go for Zielinski and Sane, to be honest, amigo. Best 6.5 million midfielder and 4.5 million defender, says none. Again, depends who you already have in your team. I do like Anthony Gordon. Newcastle is only 5.5 million. Newcastle are playing some really incredible attacking football and is a very, very cheap option in that area. And then I'd probably say Kimmich as well if you want a 6.5 million midfield and just exact 6.5 million. 4.5 million, probably Ake. What cheap midfielders and defenders do you recommend for under 10.6 million combined? So as I said to Nana, I'd say either Kimmich. If you put Kimmich, you'll have 3.5, 4.5, 4 point. How much will that be remaining? 4.5. You'll have 5.1 million remaining to get a defender. So I'd go for Anthony Gordon, Newcastle, 5.5 million. That leaves you with a lot of money in the bank. So I'll give you options, Javob. You'll know how to balance it out yourself. Anthony Gordon is an option. Kimmich is an option. Nathan Ake is an option. And yeah, probably those three. Maybe David Rom as well, Leipzig. Thuram and Alvarez to Joao Cancelo and Çalhanoğlu with 0.7 million in the bank. Wow, you want to take out Alvarez? I wouldn't want to take out Alvarez, but since Felix and Çalhanoğlu, I'd go for Felix and Çalhanoğlu. So that sounds good to me. I wouldn't. Do you have to take out Alvarez? I'd be happy to just do Thuram to Çalhanoğlu. I'm not sure about taking out Alvarez. They are playing young boys. What do you think of captaining Dumfries? First day, Tuesday, you can captain any differential. That is totally fine. As long as you have a good captain for tomorrow if they don't perform. I think Dumfries is a good shout. I mean, he can easily get a clean sheet and a goal. So as a differential, that is fine. I wouldn't go for differential captains on Wednesday, though, just Tuesday. Trippier, Balde, I'd go for Balde. I think they have a better chance of keeping a clean sheet against Shakhtar. I'd go for Rom Andres. I'm not choosing any chips, just transfers, says Nick. Just transfers. So Antonio Silva to Dumfries or Thuram to Mkhitaryan. I'd go for Thuram to Mkhitaryan or Çalhanoğlu. That is what I'd go for. Let's see. We have 13 minutes to the deadline, so make sure to get in your questions quick. Odegaard in a wildcard, says Johnny. It depends on the other chip that you've used, Johnny. If you've already used your Limitless and this is your final chip, the wildcard, Odegaard is good because he's going to have a good fixture in match day 4 and 5. But even in that said, though, I feel like there's many midfielders who have good fixtures this week. You can always get Odegaard if you want in match day 4 with the transfers. So I'd say no, I wouldn't have Odegaard on a wildcard. I have in my defense Davis, Ake, Christensen, and Dumfries, says Andres. Yes, I'd get from Andres to join your defense there. Morata Masco says, Jenny, I feel like we will. What do you think about captaining Haaland? Haaland is playing tomorrow, correct? Haaland is playing tomorrow, so you need to get a captain for today because you can change your captain tomorrow. But tomorrow, obviously, Haaland is the best captain. Today, you can go for any player. Are you wildcarding or not, says Naeem. I am not. I'm going to wait until match day 4 or 5 for that. Molina or Walker? I'd go for Walker, Man City. Celtic could score against Atletico. Who do you prefer, Hendricks or Rom? Rom, because it takes the corners and the free kicks. I have both of them in my team, though. Mkhitaryan, Odegaard, Mkhitaryan, Johnny. Common, Rodri or Rom and Kimmich. Rom and Kimmich for sure, Andres. Mbappe or Alvarez? I'd go for Alvarez. AC Milan have not considered a goal so far in the Champions League. Felix or Penda? I was trying to decide exactly between those two players, but I've this. I really like Openda. To be honest, I would go for Openda. I can't go for Openda right now because I already have 3 Leipzig players. Thuram may come in as a substitution and score a goal. That could happen. So if you have other transfers to make, then I'd keep Thuram in the team. But if you're playing your wildcard or limitless, then I'd not have Thuram. Morata, Felix, Johnny, Coman, Stengs, or Gundogan. I'm going to say Coman, Christian. I feel like Bayern Munich are going to score a couple of goals. And did you play Limitless last week, says Jevo? Yes, I did. And that is why I don't want to play my wildcard immediately after. How about Briaz Mendes against Benfica? I mean, Real Sociedad are away from home. Benfica are playing at home. As a differential, I don't mind it, Ryan. It could be a good differential. Did you play? I answer that one. Kane or Bellingham as captain? I'm still trying to decide on that. Maria, I'd say there's a lot of new names here, by the way. Thank you for watching, Maria. Thank you for watching, Rehan, Christian. First time I'm seeing your names. FIFA Boss, J-Vob, all those guys are regulars here. Nick Footy, I appreciate you guys always being here. That is a tough question. I'm going to say Bellingham because Bellingham, he can easily pick up player of the match as well and get you an extra 3 points. He can get you goals, assists, and obviously an extra point for scoring. I'm going to say Bellingham. Thuram is on the bench. Is it smart to keep him in the team, says Baran. As I said, I'll just repeat for the last time. If you're playing a wildcard, don't have Thuram. If you're playing a limitless, don't have Thuram. If you're bringing in players, don't bring in Thuram. If you already have Thuram in your team and you don't have enough transfers or you have other players to take out, you can keep him because he can always come on. Because you're allowed to take him out tomorrow, so that is fine as well. You can put him in the starting lineup, and then if he comes on and does nothing, you can take him out. Zielinski, I like him. I like Napoli this week. I also like Varshile for this week. I'm a regular too, says Rehan. You sure? Thank you for always watching, Darian. Even though this is the most you've ever asked, like this is the most questions you've ever asked on a single stream, though, right? Thoughts on Taremi? FC Porto is a good differential, but there's so many good strikers, amigo, so I've not considered Taremi. But if you want a differential, if an FC Porto fan, no problem at all. Need to get rid of Lewandowski and Thuram for who I can get Felix, but not also Saka. So is Odegaard good or just Lewandowski and leave Thuram? If it's not don't do -4s to take out Thuram. If you've already made your 2 transfers, you can keep Thuram in your team. But if you have a transfer to make, you can take Thuram and bring in another midfielder from Inter Milan, Chananoglu or Mkhitaryan. Would you say that it is worth playing Limitless and Wildcard in the knockout stage? I prefer playing them in the group stages because there's bigger teams facing weaker teams, so a Limitless can work out. Wildcard definitely like it in the... Now, Limitless, I think you have to play Limitless in the group stage because later on in the knockout stages, there's teams facing each other, so you don't want to bring in Bellingham and Lewandowski if Barcelona are playing against Real Madrid. I don't really like that. You want the team to be playing an easier team. Wildcard, if you don't have to play a wildcard in the group stage and your team is looking good, then you can always push it forward. You can always push it forward to the group stage, to the knockout. Especially if most of your players get knocked out that you didn't expect to get knocked out, that wildcard could help you. But if you need to play a wildcard, definitely play it now. Aki will start, says Rafael. I'm hoping so, but there's no guarantee, especially because Akanji was sent off in the league. He might not play, but I'd be willing to say he's going to start this one and not start the Man United game on the weekend. Please suggest me the final one, just one name. Chananoglu or Xavi Simons, FIFA bots. Sorry, I gave you two names. My team wildcard, Ter Stegen or Soma, I'd go for... It depends, Johnny. If you have Dumfries already, I'd go for Ter Stegen. If you already have Cancelo, I'd go for Soma. So balance it out. One Barcelona, one Inter Milan. Pavard in the team or not as a wildcard. As a wildcard, I'd probably go for players like Bastoni or Dumfries, not Pavard. I know Pavard could be cheaper, right? Let me go to Inter Milan. On a wildcard, because if you're playing a wildcard, then you're looking at 2-3 weeks going forward, 2-3 match days going forward. So you don't want to put yourself in a tough position. Defender. Pavard is 5.5 million. So yeah, I'd go for Dumfries for sure, Baron, because Dumfries is going to start more. Felix and Odegaard or Kane and Inter Milan midfielder, not Thuram. I'd go Kane for an Inter Milan midfielder. Speaking of Inter Milan midfielders, I'm coming to the rest of your questions. Let me make my transfer. I only have 5 minutes. I've decided I'm going to go for an Inter Milan midfielder. I really wanted to go for Coman, but I'm going to go for Chananoglu because he takes the penalties. Done. Those are my transfers. You're about to make 2 transfers. Yes, I know that. Lewandowski to Joao Felix to Chananoglu. Done. I've gone from Barcelona to Barcelona, Inter Milan to Inter Milan, and this is how my team is looking now. Now I have to decide on the captain. This is going to be so tough, isn't it? For me, it's either between Kane, Bellingham. Braga doing well. I think Braga have won they've won several games in a row. Real Madrid are playing Barcelona this weekend, right? Huh. Lucas says we're had 10.5 budget, suggest midfield. I have to Sane, Bellingham, ZH, Simmons. Take out Tuam for one midfielder from Inter Milan. That will leave with how much? Tuam, Sane. So, I mean, you have a lot of money. I'd take out Tuam. ZH is not going to play easy, no? I'd take out Tuam for an Inter Milan midfielder direct. Best 6.5 million midfielder, Kimmich, J, or if you want to go lower, Gordon. I see you have Bellingham as captain. I have a feeling Sane will go crazy tonight. I have a feeling as well Bayern Munich could score. I'm not sure about that Braga game. I feel like it's going to be difficult. But Braga conceded twice against Union Berlin, right? And they conceded Napoli. What was the result between Braga and Napoli? Braga, Napoli. What was the result on that day? Braga, Napoli. Napoli scored twice. Okay. Kenya FIFA bots. Stegen, Soma, Dumfries, Rom, Diaz, Di Lorenzo, Cancelo, Mkhitaryan, Kvaratskhelia, Bellingham, Foden, Musiala, Felix, Kane, and Haaland. Haaland, Kane, Felix, I'm okay with that. Johnny, Musiala, Foden, Bellingham, Kvaratskhelia, Miki, I like that as well. Your team is looking good, Johnny. That I do like that team. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for Bellingham as my captain. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to keep Bellingham as my captain because he also has a huge chance of picking up player of the match. So I am going to keep him as my captain. I've answered a lot of questions today. I appreciate it, guys. Make sure to hit the like button. You only have 3 minutes to get your transfers done. Hopefully my team is ready. 25th on the bench. Yeah, my team is. I'm happy with that. Hopefully, Joao Felix and Bellingham, Joao Felix and Çalhanoğlu don't disappoint me. Champions League fantasy is fun, right? Thank you, Johnny, for watching throughout. I appreciate it. I have several other channels by the way on here. In case you're wondering why I don't always post on everything football, I only do Champions League fantasy. I play so many. I play so many fantasy games, but it's very difficult to like come here and talk about Norwegian fantasy. It's very difficult because I don't watch those games. There's nowhere to watch those games. I play Bundesliga fantasy as well. Maybe in the future we'll introduce that. I'm sitting in 255th place in the league. Need a big week. Good luck. Everyone says ego. Good luck to everyone for sure. So everything Arsenal. If you're an Arsenal fan and you want Arsenal content, follow me on everything Arsenal. Same name, Glenn Catley, but everything Arsenal on YouTube. I also have a documentary channel that's Football Reminisce. I also have an Arsenal documentary channel, everything Arsenal stories. So that's what keeps me busy. Going with Gondwan, don't have Barcelona players in my team. Yeah, I think you have to have at least one, Ryan. Good luck, everyone. I think we will see Bayern party now. Hopefully, Jacob. That is the game. I think I'll be watching both games, and then obviously, if you have any questions, for your subs tomorrow and all that, or you just want to comment and brag about your players performing, you can comment on this particular video afterwards, and make sure to ask your questions as well afterwards. So, bye, Jacob. Thank you as well for the stream. I appreciate you guys. Deadline has hit. Enjoy the game. See you next time. Thank you for watching, and catch up with you on the next one.